Welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Are you thinking about buying or selling a home, or a real estate professional that wants to know the latest stats, what's happening in our Twin Cities market? Come hang out with us for a little while. I'm Kirk Duckwall. In studio, Ben Greilanger, Chad Priebe.
Hey, guys.
Today, we're going to be talking about the fall market. You introed it like the falling fall market.
Yeah, let's fall into fall.
Yeah, fall into fall. And typically our market does slow down at this time of year. And we're really going to deep dive in the next segment of what to expect. I guess the real question is this the astronomical fall market or the meteorological fall market? Or is
That's really technical.
Yeah.
I wait for the leaves to change. That's when I know.
Well, I mean, the real estate market actually, I mean, it starts reacting, kind of a month to 2 months before a lot of people think it will, right? And a lot of that has to do with when people close on their homes.
So it's delayed a little bit.
Right. So like you think about spring market, and a lot of people go, well, I bought my house in April or May. Well, they didn't really buy their house in April or May. That's when they closed on their house for a lot of people, right? They were writing the offers 30 to 60 days before that. So, when we talk about the fall market, really we can start seeing our market change. And I know in past shows, I was talking about, like peak inventory. It's somewhere between July and September, right? Mm-hmm. Well, really in July, and when that data comes out, so beginning of August, is when we can start to see the market shifts that are out there. And if you look at the 30-day trends, you can definitely see the markets slowing down. And if you really want to deep dive, check out the Mastermind the Market minutes that we have on the Twin Cities Real Estate Show, where I cover that on a weekly basis on the market meter. But if we look at kind of the weekly, what happens, we don't see nearly that same slowdown that you actually do in that May, June timeline.
Right.
So if you look at the last 3 weeks, it's kind of interesting. On the market meter, we were at a 5.17. Then we jumped up to a 5.19, so the market got better.
Right.
If you're a seller out there, not so as good for buyers. And then dropped back to a 5.9. So you kind of look at that, and it's pretty much all really close.
Yeah,
right.
Not dramatic, but definitely some movement.
Yeah, some movement, a little up, a little down. So where does that put us in our market? Well, a 5 is basically a balanced market. Anywhere between a 4 and a 6 actually falls in that balanced market range. Mm-hmm. And in the next segment, we're going to kind of dive into some of what we've seen historically to expect there. One of the real interesting things, let's kind of run through some of the stats. Just a little bit about where our market is today. I know we haven't done a new show for the last couple weeks. So week over week, new listings, we saw those drop off. Again, this is pretty common this time of year. We've gone from 1354 down to 1243. And then when we look at pending sales, kind of a big drop off here on the weekly, especially in comparison to weeks before, where it was kind of just running relatively flat again with pending sales. We did finally see those come down, and it went from 1151 down to 1008. One of the things that kind of is surprising me a little bit is the gap between last year's inventory and this year's inventory has really tightened up. When I was kind of thinking that would get bigger and bigger. But I think there are a lot of sellers out there that have decided to maybe sit tight. Yep. So I know one of the things that came into consideration was, with rates moving up, might that keep sellers in their existing homes because of the affordability of new homes?
Yeah. Right.
And I know this spring when rates were moving up, I was more of the mindset, well, a lot of these sellers, they bought back when rates were in the 5s. And we definitely see, you see that some people just, they don't care. They know.
Right. They more of your buy-up buyer buying your second or third home. They've been through this, and reality is we're not in that bad of a rate environment.
Right.
So talking to someone that's been through the process before, they're they don't really blink an eye at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And maybe, the ones, they bought, but they've been in this like really low rate mindset for a while, and it may be an adjustment. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens to inventory, I'd say, next year.
Correct.
We're just getting out of what the craziest seller market the past, year and a half, 2 years. And I think, this summer things kind of started shifting, and a seller that was maybe like, oh, I missed it. Like, we'll just wait now. And so it's just kind of.
I had a family member this weekend, piggyback off what you're saying. They said, well, when's the market going to crash? Well, that's when we're waiting. And I said, well, you're going to be waiting a long time. The logistics behind what's going on now is way different than what we were experiencing in 08 and 09, right? We don't need to go into details on that. But if you are one of those people that are waiting for a market crash,
I will gladly take bets.
I would too, and something we kind of
the new sexy word.
Yeah, something we kind of talked about a little bit before. We talk about the rent trap. Don't get caught into the rate trap, because if you look back 30 plus years on the history of the interest rates, you guys, rates are not all that bad. So don't wait for that crash. Don't wait too long for the rates to come down. You could be waiting a long time.
I had a call this weekend for one of my listings, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend lives real close by, and I saw that house when it was up for sale last time, and a few years have gone by and it's up for sale again. And he's like, I thought about buying it last time. It's gone up $100,000 in value in that period of time, and he's still renting.
Yeah.
Right. So like in waiting, just waiting and waiting, and how much rent has been paid. Like you said, one of your favorites is rent is 100% interest.
Right.
Right. So why are you worried about 5 or 6% interest?
Right.
Yeah. Right. And we're going to talk a little bit more as we go on with the show here about how to maybe cure for that a little bit. I know we had a whole show dedicated to curing the common rate. Right.
Right.
How do you deal with this? So as far as inventory of homes, what we think, at least as of now, it looks like the peak of inventory for this year was the week of August 13th. So we sometimes, though, see the market on inventory go down and pop back up in September, kind of like once school starts.
Right.
A lot of people aren't putting their homes on the market, as we can tell by new listings, in late August, right? You got school starting, a lot of factors, state fair, last, vacations of the summer. So we may see that inventory pop again. We don't usually know until it's already gone by, right? That's happened. But what we can tell is, as of now, the maximum inventory we had was the week of August 13th.
Okay. So if you're a buyer out there, I think kind of to piggyback on what you're saying, Kirk, is if there's someone that is going to be selling their home, they're motivated to sell.
Yep.
Right? They're maybe, obviously they're looking for the highest and best offer, but they're more motivated now than someone selling in mid-July or August, just kind of looking to cherry pick that highest offer.
Yeah, it's definitely somebody that tends to be we need to move for a reason.
Right. Okay.
There's something that's
done before the snow flies.
Yep.
You want to be transition to the other house and all that.
So we kind of see two separate bumps in the market: the spring and the fall, and then the summer is kind of neutral. But we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to deep dive. We'll be right back. Again, check out TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. Our local sponsors are BRIX Real Estate, Network Title, Eric Bloomstrad and Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage, Structure Tech Home Inspections, James Tufson with Country Financial, along with Cregan's Construction and Grey Duck Staging and Design.
Hi, I'm Ruben with Structure Tech Home Inspections. Everyone knows you should have a home inspection before you buy a home, but we've heard of home buyers being encouraged to skip the home inspection in this crazy market to make their purchase offer more attractive. Now they're facing tens of thousands of dollars in unexpected repairs. I'm telling you now, don't skip the home inspection. Here at Structure Tech, we can get your home inspected quickly, and we offer a full line of services. Visit us online at structuretech.com to learn more.
Don't fall for the billboards or the clickbait. There is no such thing as today's rate. Mortgages and mortgage rates are individual to you. Chad Priebe and Eric Bloomstrand with Bell Bank Mortgage are here to show you the formula to get your best rate. Once you know this formula, you can mortgage shop with confidence. Find us online at chadpriebe.com. That is chadpriebe.com. NMLS 1462493, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with BRIX Real Estate and the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial transactions people make. Before you make your next move, download our free Smart Home Buyer or Smart Seller guides to give you the edge in our real estate market. From deal hunting to knowing the right repairs for maximizing value, these free guides have it all. Check them out and more at BRIXTwinCities.com under publications. Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. If you have any real estate related questions, looking for any help buying or selling, please feel free. Give me a call, 651-303-0019. Again, 651-303-0019. Happy to help answer any of your questions. Today, we're talking about the fall market that we're in, what to expect, what we've seen in the past. Kind of left off with kind of these two peak times a year. Right. Different dynamics that are playing into it. So, we have our spring market. A lot of people spend the winter getting ready for it as far as sellers. Hey, these are the projects we're going to do. Get it ready for that spring market. The primary driving factor there is that you have the peak prices to take advantage of. But keep in mind, the reason they're peak prices is because the inventory is at its lowest point. Supply and demand, right?
Correct.
Plays into this. So the other thing is because we see this peak prices where inventory is a little bit lower, you kind of come into the summer market, and that's when that inventory goes up, hits its max, which it looks like we've hit, right? Mm-hmm. And then it starts coming back down. Well, we see another little bump sometimes in that market meter or in activity. Maybe it lasts for only a couple weeks, but it's another time of year where things pick back up. Mm-hmm. Maybe on the 30-day market meter it doesn't move it, but on the weekly market meter it does. Right. And that happens somewhere in September, October timeline. Mm-hmm. In exactly when, it's hard to say. Right. But then we move into the winter market. So anybody who's really trying to take advantage of our market wants to basically be on before Thanksgiving and hopefully quite a few weeks before. One of the data points that is really changing right now is days on market. Mm-hmm. We are now up to around 25 days on market. Okay. So that's a big change.
Yeah, that's like double from what it was in the peak.
Yep.
But I still think that's more of a normal market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
it's not scary. This is not 160 day, 2008 or something like that.
Correct. That return to normalcy seems so weird in a way because it's like we're just going back to normal. From crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how fast us humans can forget. Just 2 years ago, we were kind of where we're at right now. Yeah. Prior to COVID.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if I was giving advice to buyers and how to think about the fall market is this is your opportunity. Well, inventory is still close to its peak, not quite peak, to still take advantage of good homes that are on the market before, we see people that try to quote unquote beat the market coming in December and January. Mm-hmm. Inventory is at its bottom. Right. And the houses that are left on the market are the ones that didn't sell in the normal summer or fall market, right? And then if there are good ones that come on because, again, they did the right things, got it ready appropriately, just somebody, again, maybe it's a forced move, relocation, whatever it may be. Well, those ones go into multiple offers, even in December, quickly. Even in January. Yeah. So, I would be looking to definitely take advantage of the fall market. Let's touch on break this down a little bit. So rates, we've seen some changes in rates. It looked like things might be coming back down. They were approaching 5, and then the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the good old, I know we've all heard this a lot, volatility. I was just telling you guys before the show, in the month of August, the bond market lost 300 basis points. So somewhere in the first couple weeks in August, we were right around 5.125%, okay? Right now, currently today, we're sitting right around that 6% mark.
Yep.
So that 300 basis points that we lost, we're feeling that right now. So, and then we have the Fed talking about a Fed rate hike. A lot of that pricing is already baked into today's pricing. So, us as consumers, when we start seeing this stuff, where, oh my gosh, the Feds are going to raise the Fed rate another 0.75%, we start getting a little more nervous because now we're rolling into a few months now where rates are going up on the federal level. And people are starting to feel that effect on their credit card payments or boat loans and stuff like that, any kind of revolving line of credit.
Adjustable ones,
Yeah, the I think a good way, if somebody wants a good visualization, is there's this stat site, Fred. You go online there and you can just type in Fred's stats and Fred 30-year mortgage. Well, you can line up these different things. And one of the things I like to line up is look at the 30-year rate, look at the 10-year treasury bond, and then throw in the Fed interest rate, all in the same graph. And you'll see the last one to actually move is the Fed rate. So when you hear about Fed rate going up, don't worry. What's been done has already been done typically when you're talking about the 30-year mortgage rate.
Correct.
The first to react is the bond market. Bond market moves, then interest rates on homes move about a day or so later.
Yep.
And then the Fed rate moves a few weeks, if not a month or so later.
Yep.
So, when you hear about this, it does not mean that the interest rate automatically went up because the Fed did it.
Correct. Yes. Thanks for painting that picture. That was perfect. And realistically, what you want to be doing, if you're buying a home or if you're in the process of buying a home, between your realtor and your loan officer, make sure you're asking questions, right? As you're watching the evening news or you see something pop up on your social media that brings a little nervous feeling to you, reach out to your partner. Ask them the question, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. Don't sit there and wonder and then hear from your neighbor or your coworker what they think it means, because most of the time that's not accurate. Yep. So rather than sitting there and feeling this anxiety from what we're seeing in the media and social media, not saying everything they're saying is wrong, but ask questions about that.
It's also a lot of how things are said.
Correct.
Right?
It's how things are said.
You break down the data.
And there's so many things that we can't control. We don't control the Fed. We don't control the markets. We don't control all that. So when you're thinking about buying, you want to focus on the things you can control.
Right.
Really maximizing that down payment and thinking about is a 30-year mortgage versus a 20-year mortgage.
What's my refinancing plan? Right.
Correct.
If you're coming in, my mortgage interest calculator, looks like, and same if you go to other prediction sites, it looks like, the rates will probably tame themselves by kind of mid next year or into the later spring market. We'll see rates moving back down. So what I would be considering is if I'm a buyer or a seller. Remember, I said right now, selling in the fall market's not bad. I mean, yes, there is the spring market to consider, but your inventory, if you're buying, and a lot of sellers are going back to buying.
Right.
So you really want to come up with your plan. Again, if you want to know a good breakdown of all your selling and buying options, well, for sellers, the Smart Seller Guide, right? Hey. These are free. TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. You can download that under publications. It breaks down the different ways you can consider selling your home to plan it out. Because we always say if you rush, that's when you're going to create regrets.
You won't have a plan.
Yeah. So if I was looking at the market as a buyer, I'd be going, hey, right now, houses are significantly less competitive out there than they were last fall at the same time, and considerably less than in the springtime this year. So you can go out and maybe actually negotiate and get a home at a good price. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to have that little bit higher rate in the short term. Again, you marry your house, you date your rate.
There you
What's
go.
your refinance plan that's out there?
Also, Kirk, to top that off, what's your recast plan?
Yeah.
Let's say you receive a bonus once a year. Maybe you receive a good chunk of money in a bonus or commission. You can recast your mortgage at any time. What you're doing is buying down the principal balance, which brings down your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
So there's plans that you want to be talking to your team about down the road, not just today.
So our fall market, what we're seeing is actually slightly better than normal. right? I mentioned that our market meter is at a 5.17, I think. No, 5.09. A couple weeks ago, 5.17. That's a balanced market in the Twin Cities. If we go back to the last normal market we had, which would be 2019, it was at a 4.17. So still in the balanced market range, but we're doing slightly better than we were at that time.
What does balanced market mean, Kirk?
It basically means no particular advantage to a buyer or a seller.
Okay.
Right? That you're not going to see home prices on average crossing above the 100% mark, nor are they going below 95% typically.
Perfect.
So that's where I'd put what does a balanced market mean.
Okay.
So then it's a matter of, taking advantage of the market when you have that inventory that's a little higher as a buyer. The spring that we're going to go into, is probably going to be pretty typical for any year, even with rates. I think we're going to see, like you said, people looking at rates going, you know what, we're going to hold off. We missed the peak. They see where rates go, and now they're going to come into the market next year. So I think our fall market will stay relatively just this slow decline,
right?
And we may drop into a buyer's market in November or December, but keep in mind, buyers, that's when the homes are the leftover ones.
Right.
Yeah, so you may be able to negotiate.
Tired ones.
Yes. So there can be some good negotiation, but be prepared. It may also be fixer upper, need a little bit more work. Again, though, don't judge the house by the photos. We always say pictures tell 1,000 lies.
Yep.
Sometimes that's all that's keeping a house on the market. Well, we got a commercial break we're going to take and get into our last segment. I want to throw out some interesting numbers as to what we've seen prices do.
Okay.
I'm not going to have time to do that in this segment. Again, check out TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. We'll be right back.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
My name is James Tobson with Country Financial. Anyone can sell you insurance. However, is it going to be the insurance you need? When life pops up with its surprises, you want the right coverage. When it comes time to find or renew your policy, give me a call. I would love to review your existing policy and show you what I can do for you. You can email me at james.tobson@countryfinancial.com or give me a call at 651-365-3408.
Hi, I'm Becca, owner of Greilanger Staging. With today's home buyers beginning their journey exclusively online, the look and feel of your home matters more than ever. Whether it's a simple in-home consultation, a refresh using your current furniture, or a whole home staging, our goal is always the same: showing your home in the best light and helping you achieve the highest sales price possible. To learn more, visit us at GreatDuckStaging.com or check us out on Instagram at GreatDuckStaging.
Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Make sure you check out all of our past shows and great information at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. There you can find the Smart Home Buyer Guide, the Smart Seller Guide, all sorts of great info there. Make your show suggestions there as well. Yeah. Ben, when we were talking about the show, before the show, that it's some interesting data regarding home affordability.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been experiencing that prices have gone up and up and up, and it's becoming harder to afford that house. And some people might think that it's just affecting the Twin Cities market, but it's a national phenomenon that's happening almost everywhere. And the housing affordability or opportunity index, it kind of tracks affordable homes based on an income of $90,000, and it from the first quarter of 22. Houses on the market, about 57% were affordable, versus now it's about 43%. So quite a big drop just in 2 quarters of this year of the number of homes that are affordable to a very median income of $90,000. So
well, and the big driver there is interest rates. That's the big driver.
exactly.
So the thing that I would be considering out there, as mentioned previously, look at what is your refinance plan or what is your financing plan. What is it that you can do to get that rate down there? Again, we have the show, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com, that we did back in the spring called The Cure for the Common Rate. Whole bunch of suggestions there. One of the points I wanted to bring up, though, is we are seeing a big slowing in the increase in prices. If we look at month over month in home prices, that median, it's only up 5.6%. Now, this is still above the average of 4.5%, but in comparison to the last 2 years where we've been seeing like 8 to 11% increase, that we're not seeing them move up at quite the same speed. This is a good thing overall.
That's a good thing.
Right? Yeah. But for buyers out there thinking, when's the crash? We're not crashing. We're coming into a normal market. And this is the data that really shows that. We're seeing normal listing activity. We're seeing normal showing activity. We're seeing normal price increases. Yeah. Nothing about this says crash. Just look at the inventory. The inventory of homes overall is still pretty darn low. So for sellers out there, this means the market is not bad for you as a seller. Inventory is still low. For buyers, I'd be looking to take advantage of those times where inventory is a little bit higher, which is right now.
Right.
All right. I think it's been a great show, guys. Yeah. Thank you again, Chad, Ben, for coming in. Any questions, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com or call 651-303-0019. See you next week. People always ask realtors, what is your commission? But what they should be asking is, what is your rate of return? Commissions only vary by a couple of % from agent to agent. However, the price per square foot you get just based on their experience and the quality of marketing they use can vary by 10% or more. At BRIX Real Estate, our agents use the right marketing and have the experience to get you top dollar for your house. See what we can do for you at BRIXTwinCities.com.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
Don't forget to check us out online anytime at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. There you can find all of our past shows, our weekly market updates, along with the latest and greatest searching and researching tools, and our free publications to include the Smart Home Buyer Guide and the Smart Seller Guide, along with the BRIX Report. All of these free for you. If you have any real estate questions, please feel free to give us a call, 651-303-0019. Again, 651-303-0019. Happy to help answer any of your real estate questions or assist with your real estate needs.